Hello and welcome to Astro Impact channel. So today we'll be talking about Saturn in all the houses, right? Let's talk about what exactly the Saturn is. Saturn in the Vedic astrology is considered as most karmic planet, right? The significance of the Saturn is your karma, right? The work you do in your daily life, the discipline you follow, that falls under the Saturn. And Saturn is very slow planet, and it is the one of the most coldest planet, right? So we'll be discussing about what exactly Saturn in all the 12 house will do, and what exactly will be the significance when Saturn is in the all 12th house, right? Okay. So whenever Saturn is in your Lagna, that is in your first house, Saturn in the first house gives you a very serious, disciplined and responsible personality. This individual often mature early in the life, learn important lessons through patience, hard work and perseverance, right? Success usually comes later stage of life because Saturn makes you a bit slower, right? It has been said that Saturn is sunny, right? Sunny means sunny. It means slowly, right? So, success usually come later in the life because than expected time, but it tends to be stable and long-lasting success. They may appear as very reserved, practical, and cautious, right? Preferring to the being careful, like careful over planning the things over the impulsive decision. They don't take any impulsive decision. They prefer to start it slow, carefully planned everything, right? Physically, Saturn can give you a lean body, a calm demeanor, right, and a hard-working nature. If it is well placed, right, this position grants leadership through the experience, resilience, and wisdom. If it is afflicted, it may cause you a low self-confidence, loneliness, delays in the personal achievement, or health issues related to bones, joints, or chronic condition. So whenever Saturn is in the first house, you will have very low self-confidence first thing, and you will always feel humiliated. You might have like trauma, being humiliated by someone in your community, in your family, in your relative steps, right? So that's why when you will be growing up, you will see you don't have, courage to go to five-star hotel or any sophisticated place. Maybe you will go over there, but you don't have confidence because the feeling of worthless can make you restless and you don't feel comfortable in that place. Okay, so whenever you have Saturn in your Lagna, that is in your first house, this thing can be seen, right? But it is well placed, right? It is well placed and it is aspected by good planets. Then this Saturn can make you a very big person, a very famous person, right? So this thing can be seen whenever the Saturn is in first house. All right. Okay. Let's move to Saturn in second house. Right. Okay. What exactly the second house is? Second house is your house of finance. Second house is your house of speech. Second house is your house of family, your wealth, your gain, right? Your home. That is the second house. So whenever the Saturn is in the second house, that teaches you the discipline of finance, speech, family matters. Wealth usually accumulates slowly through the constant effort rather than sudden gains. You won't have any kind of sudden gains. You will have to build the pentacles step by step, right? So whenever Saturn is in the second house, wealth will be built in step by step, right? This individual often become very excellent savers and financial planners over the time. Their speech is measured thoughtful, and sometimes very blunt. Family responsibility may arise earlier in the life, and there can be periods of emotional distance within the family. If Saturn is strong, it provides the lasting wealth, financial stability, and respect earned through the honesty. If it is afflicted, it may create financial delay, strain in a family relationship, and also difficulties in expressing the emotions. Also, you can see one detail. Whenever the Saturn is in the second house, the people who will speak very slowly, and they will take time to speak, right? So Saturn in this second house can give you this thing. All right. So we'll be moving to Saturn in the third house. What exactly the third house is, right? Third house is your house of communication. Third house is your house of courage. Third house is your house of initiation. So whenever Saturn sits in third house, it strengthens your determination, perseverance, right, and courage. This individual may initially struggle with the confidence, but gradually they become highly capable through their effort, their continuous effort, right? They excel in the career requiring discipline, communication, writing, administration, engineering, right? Engineering or technical skill can be seen very prominent whenever the Saturn is in third house. Relationship with siblings may involve responsibility. You have to take care of your siblings, right? Or distance or karmic lesson can be learned whenever the Saturn sits in third house, because third house is also house of siblings, right? Short distance travel often occurs for the work rather than a leisure time or vacation, right? A strong Saturn rewards persistence with long-term success, while an afflicted Saturn may create communication barrier, fear of taking risks, or misunderstanding with a sibling. Also, that can make you procrastinate, and you can be so much lazy. Okay, I will do tomorrow, I will do day after tomorrow, I will do after 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So you will just pile up the things, and which is not the good habit, because it is the house of initiation, it is the house of the courage, right? So you have to show discipline whenever the Saturn sits in third house. All right, okay, let's go to whenever Saturn sits in fourth house. What exactly happens when Saturn sits in fourth house? So what the fourth house governs? What are the significance? It is the house of mother. It is house of your home. It is your house of the vehicles, the luxury you get, the comfort you get, right? And it is the house of property as well. And it is the house of also emotional satisfaction, peace. So Saturn here often brings responsibility related to family, domestic lives. Emotional maturity develops through the life's challenge. The native learns to build lasting security over the time, right? You will try to build the security over the lasting time. You want to build step by step process, right? So always make sure that you build very slowly and sunny, right? Okay. So property, land, and real estate may come later in the life after the consistent effort, right? Because I've already told you, Saturn is a very slow moving planet. It doesn't deny, right? It doesn't deny, but it delays, right? Saturn doesn't deny, but it delays, right? Okay, relationship with your mother may involve distance or responsibility rather than an emotional expression. If Saturn is strong, it grants stable property, discipline the family life, and emotional resilience can be seen. If Saturn is afflicted, it may create domestic stress, right? Emotional isolation or delays in acquiring the property. Also, one tip: whenever the Saturn sits in fourth house, you have to be distanced from your house. You have to leave your home to do something praiseworthy work. That's why whenever the Saturn sits in fourth house, make sure if it is your age, then you have to leave your homeland or motherland or your home city. All right. Okay. Let's go to Saturn in the fifth house. What exactly the fifth house is? Fifth house is your house of children, your house of romantic partner, your house of your love affair, right? Your house of creativity, and also the house of the past life, good deeds, right? Purva punya, the blessings of past life, right? So whenever Saturn sits in the fifth house, it creates a discipline and practical approach toward education, creativity, romance, and children. Academic success comes through the dedication rather than natural ease. You have to be very dedicated to your education because it won't be easy for you, right? Romantic relationships often develop slowly and seriously. With the time, it will grow. You can't expect like Rahu, within like 5 minutes you just hang on and you just do stuff, right? No. Relationship builds over the time. It takes dedication, focus, attention, and space, right? Creative talents improve with practice and patience, right? Whenever Saturn sits in fifth house, creative talents improve with the practice and patience. Children may bring important life lessons and responsibility because it is house of children, and Saturn wherever sits it gives you the responsibility of that house. It makes you responsible. If Saturn is afflicted, may delay in a romantic relationship, love relationship. You might not find your loving partner, right? And there will be delay in childbirth or educational achievement. You will have delay in that. But persistence generally leads to eventual success. Because if you are persistent throughout your schedule, you make sure you are consistent about things, then it can make you successful person. So my dear friends, always remember wherever the Saturn sits, it delays that house. But it doesn't deny that house, right? That's why it will definitely give you success if you consistently maintain the harmony of your workflow, your effort, your dedication, and your courage, right? So whenever the Saturn sits in fifth house, you can see this significance. All right? Okay, let's move to Saturn in sixth house. What exactly the sixth house is? Sixth house is the house of disease, death, loss, daily work, your maternal uncle's affair as well. That your maternal uncle can be seen from sixth house, or maternal relatives can be seen from the sixth house. All right. Whenever Saturn sits in sixth house, it supports the discipline, service, and overcome the challenges. This native excel in a career acquiring organization, responsibility, health work, lawyer, doctors, administration, research, or public service. They can be a good public service server, right? They have endurance to overcome the competition, depth, and obstacle through the consistently with the hard work, right? They have to make sure to follow the steps, right? To do the hard work, and then whenever Saturn sits in the sixth house, that can give you good result, right? Okay. If Saturn is afflicted, there may be a chronic disease, health issues, workplace stress, or legal complication can be seen. But discipline effort usually helps to resolve the difficulties over the time. So whenever Saturn sits in the sixth house, it delays your disease as well, and which is good thing as well. So Saturn is also significator of sixth house. It causes you hurdles, and it is the house of hurdles as well. The lawsuits, right? So Saturn is a significator of sixth house as well. Okay. So whenever Saturn is in the sixth house, always remember to try to serve the people, try to help the people. Also maintain a good relationship with the person who do lower job. Nothing in this world is lower. You can't say anything lower. However, our society has been molded in different thing, right? So we have to say that lower work. But make sure that those who are, I need to find the term here, those who is working in the grassroots level, right? So you have to serve to them. For instance, someone is your watchman, someone is doing a house help, any people who is doing a physical labor, you can serve to them, you can serve food to them, you can speak with a good manner, and that is your remedy. You don't have to always give the food or money, but if you will talk with them with a respect, that is a good remedy. All right. So whenever Saturn is in sixth house, make sure you try to serve the people, right? Okay. Let's talk about Saturn in seventh house. What seventh house is? Seventh house is the house of relationship, your spouse, your public image, house of business, right? So whenever Saturn sits in seventh house, it delays your marriage, bring the maturity, and then he says that okay, now you can marry. So it brings the responsibility, or your spouse will be older, right? Relationship develops slowly but becomes stable. In the very first, you will have like very problematic relationship, but with the time, it will gradually grow like fine wine, and you will see very much loyal partner if you have Saturn in the seventh house. Long-lasting relationship when built on the trust and commitment can be seen. These individuals take partnership seriously and value loyalty over excitement. They are not very much exciting people. They don't want. They believe in doing the monotonous things, but they want to make sure that the things is going step by step in the long-term run, right? Business partnership also can be seen benefit from careful planning or patience. If Saturn is strong, it supports enduring marriage, successful long-term businesses, alliances, right? If afflicted, it may cause relationship delay, emotional distance, misunderstanding, or feeling of loneliness with the partner. Whenever the Saturn is in the seventh house, always remember, wherever there is Saturn, it will create the pressure. If you will not, if you will not accept that pressure, or if you will not be resilient with the pressure, it will keep you troubling. It will keep you troubling. So whenever the Saturn is in seventh house, it gives you pressure so much. You have to go through hell and rise like a phoenix, because that is a karmic lesson Saturn will teach in a very hard way. So in the marriage and relationship, patience is very much required whenever the Saturn sits in seventh house. All right. Now let's talk about Saturn in eighth house. What exactly the eighth house is? Eighth house is a house of mystery, house of transformation, house of research, house of occult science, astrology, tarot, right? It is a house of minds, inheritance, in-laws house. Whenever also Saturn is a significator of eighth house as well. It is the house of death, symmetric ground. So Saturn in the eighth house creates that deep interest in the life mysteries, transformation, research, occult science, psychology, hidden knowledge. The native often undergoes the significant like personal transformation through the challenges and adversity, right? Financial matter involving inheritance, insurances, taxes, or joint resources require careful management, right? If you are not careful over there, if you will be careless over there, you might lose a lot of things. This placement develops emotional resilience because you will have lots of hurdles. You will have lots of problems. You have to face it. Saturn will create that pressure over there. And then spiritual maturity over the time you will gain, right? If Saturn is afflicted, that may create unexpected obstacle, chronic health issues, right? Emotional fear can be seen, anxiety can be seen, or financial complication requiring patience and discipline can be seen, right? Whenever Saturn is afflicted, right? But it is good place of Saturn as well. It has been said that Malefics has a good placement whenever it is placed in 6 8 12, all the Dusthana houses. But remember, my dear friends, that Saturns can also give you a lots of pain, life lessons and hurdles. It may delay your like chronic issues, but sometimes maybe it is good for your non-living significance, for your wealth and other aspects, fame. But it might like ruin some part of living significance, right? So whenever Saturn is in the 8th house, you can see that. All right. Okay, let's talk about Saturn in the 9th house. What exactly the 9th house is? 9th house is your house of your higher studies, your house of your father, mentor, guru, boss, religion, fortune, right? Foreign studies. So whenever Saturn sits in the 9th house, Saturn here encourages discipline, learning and gradual spiritual growth. Success in higher education and foreign opportunity usually comes after sustain effort. If you work very hard, then you'll just get that. Relationship with your teacher or father may involve responsibility or karmic relationship can be seen. The native develops wisdom through the experience rather than blind faith, because it is the house of faith. But you have to go through hell to develop the wisdom. You have to go through the hurdles. The Saturnian way of learning, right, is a very strict. Okay, so here Saturn, like the native, develops wisdom through experience rather than a blind faith, right? So you have to grind yourself, because Saturn has their own way of teaching. If Saturn is strong, it grants you the respect, ethical leadership, right? It grants you the respect, ethical leadership, and then you will have lasting success whenever the Saturn is the ninth house. And then also it can make you a very disciplined learner. If it is afflicted, it may delay your higher studies, foreign travel, or create philosophical conflict whenever the Saturn is afflicted in the ninth house. Sometimes you can like go beyond your own religion and you can adopt another religion as well if it is afflicted morally, right? Okay, now whenever Saturn is in the 10th house, what exactly happens? Okay, in the Saturn in the 10th house, like Saturn is a significator of 10th house. It is the house of karma. It is your house of your office. It is your house of like the prestige you get from your work, the house of your effort as well, right? So whenever the Saturn is placed in the 10th house, it is the strongest placement for the career and public success. These individuals are very hardworking, ambitious, dependable, and capable of handling major responsibility. They can perform very good under pressure, right? So professional achievement usually increase steadily with the age. So whenever like people age, like whenever the Saturn is in 10th house, if you age more, so you will get more responsibility and more public public achievement, success can be, recognition can be seen, right? Often bringing significant recognition after the age of 35 can be seen. If Saturn is afflicted in 10th house, so workplace pressure can be seen, career delays or conflict with authorities can be seen. So eventual they will get success, but delays and then conflict with authorities can be seen. So Saturns usually have a good placement in the 10th house. However, sometimes if it is afflicted, right, you can get the not exactly good result. But with the age only you will get the good result. After 35 only you will get a major success in your life, right? So let's talk about Saturn in the 11th house. What exactly this 11th house is? 11th house is your house of gain. 11th house is your house of discipline. 11th house is your house of social network. 11th house is your house of networking, and it is house of desire, income, right? So Saturn in 11th house provides steady financial gains, discipline, networking, fulfillment of long-term ambition. Success comes through the persistence rather than a quick opportunity. Friendship tends to be very few but reliable, and influential contact develops gradually over the time. You can't develop like within your second or within a day or 2 days, but it will take the time, right? These native often excel in the large organization, corporation, or structured institution, NGO, humanitarian work, or largest organization, right? If Saturn is strong, it grants the substantial wealth later in the life and stable social influence. If it is afflicted, can make delays in achieving the goals, disappointment can be seen, and then in the friendship disappointment can be seen, and or slower financial growth can be seen. So whenever the Saturn is in the 11th house, it makes your desire like you'll get when you don't desire the thing. It may like lower your emotions. It sucks your emotions. It makes your emotions cold. And when you think, I don't want this, that the moment Saturn will give you the long-term success, right? So whenever the Saturn is in 11th house, you can see these things, right? So now the final one, whenever the Saturn is in the 12th house, Whenever the Saturn is in the 12th house, it is the house of isolation. It is house of spirituality. It is house of super consciousness. It is house of bed pleasure. It is the house of dreams. It's the house of foreign land. So Saturn involves in the 12th house, brings a lesson involving spirituality, solitude, foreign land, expenses, inner transformation. The native often prefers privacy and may work behind the scene in the research, hospitals, charitable organization, government institution, international settings. Foreign residents or long-term abroad, long-term abroad stays can be possible. Saturn encourages here to be detached from unnecessary materialistic achievements, right? Promotes the spirituality, discipline through the meditations, charitable service, and success in international careers. If it is afflicted, it may result in the isolation, excessive worries, sleep disturbance, hidden fears, financial loss, or feeling of loneliness can be seen. Learning to balance the material responsibility with the spiritual development becomes one of the major life lessons whenever the Saturn sits in 12th house. So this was all thing about the Saturns. You can comment below wherever your Saturn is. You can comment how do you like about the Saturn video, because Saturn always says that I will delay the thing, but I am not denying the thing. Whenever Saturn will give, it will give you a long-term achievement, right? So always make sure that you work consistently hard. Try to be consistent, try to be disciplined, don't be lazy, because Saturn is the karaka of lazy as well, significator of lazy as well. So don't be lazy, try to be tidy, try to be neat and clean. So if you don't do that, that can make you afflict your Saturn, right? So okay, so let's talk about what remedy you can perform when the Saturn is afflicted or not giving good result. So you can donate the black lentils. You can go to pray to Sunny Dev. You can pray the Sunny mantra, right? Om Pram Prim Prom Sa Sunny Charai Nama, right? You can Google it the mantra and then you can chant the mantra. Sunny is the karma. It means the work. So working hard is the only thing Sunny exactly needs. Also talk to the people who is working, who is working in the grassroots level. For instance, watchmen, your house help, laborers, right? Those who do physical labors. Anyone who comes to your home to help for home affairs, that is represented by Saturn. So always make sure to respect them, give them gifts, right? Don't disrespect them, don't manipulate them, don't cheat with them. So this way Saturn will be very good in your chart. And Saturn says that I will give you very slowly. So don't expect impulsive decision from me. Don't expect the instant gratification from me. So Saturn will give you the best result if you have perseverance and patience. Saturn says, have patience, I will give you all the potentials, right? With this, don't judge anything with just one placement in your chart. Make sure it is a work of conjunction, trikona, aspects, rasi, house, everything you have to amalgamate, and then you have to predict the things. However, these are the general things. Don't make any huge decision based on the one placement of Saturn or any planet. How did you like the video? You can comment below. Since this video was in the Saturn, you can see most of the time I became slow, and this is not something I used to be. I think it is the grace of Saturn, Sunny Dev, that he says you also have to speak Sunny whenever you are speaking about me as well. So I am extremely thankful to Divine Sunny Dev Gurudev, all the Navarasis, all the Devtas, right? Everyone who are you are watching over here. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. You can comment how did you like, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get new things for the beginners and then also the advanced one, right? So Jyotish is the ocean of the knowledge. Doesn't matter how much you learn, but you will feel like very less. But if you have the God of grace, you can get anything. So with this, good wishes to everyone. Take care. Namah Parvati Pati Har Har Mahadev. Thank you so much.